today, guys? So last night I saw Everest. I am so happy that I did so that I could review it for you guys. I promised I would. I got home at about 11 last night because I went to the IMAX theater, which was like 45 minutes away, and I had a great experience, but I didn't get home till like 11, so I had to get home, shower, and then just go to sleep because I had practice this morning at 9. So I am back from practice and I'm going to be reviewing for you guys Everest. Everest is directed by, now bear with me with this because his name is hard to pronounce, and I'm going to read it, Baltasar Kormákur. I'm sorry if that's mispronounced, but it's directed by him and stars Clarke, Jake Gyllenhaal, Sam Worthington, Emily Watson, and a whole bunch of other people, including Joosh Brolin, and it's the true depictional story of climbers who were climbing the world's tallest mountain, Everest, in 1996, and were caught in a severe storm in which 8 of them died. Meteorology makes its own when you're on Everest, and that altitude is as high as a 747 would fly, so your bodies, as they say in the movie, are practically dying when you get to base camp 3, which is the last base camp before you hit the real top of it. Your bodies start to die. So when you get up there, you're just losing your oxygen by the minute. Alright guys, I'm just going to say it. I really enjoyed Everest. I was very happy with this experience. This was a very different experience for me. I've never really seen a movie quite like this before. And I know they made another Everest like TV movie back in the 1990s, but I didn't see it. So when I walked into Everest, my expectations were, you could say, pretty high, because I was really expecting a true IMAX experience. And I think for the majority of the movie, I really got it. There were definitely some scenes that just really, it nearly took my breath away. Here's the thing, is that when I say the majority, is that there were scenes where I'm like, I don't know, it felt like it could have been even more intense. This movie was very good with the aspects of when it made it really intense. And look guys, I understand this is a true story. This is a real life depiction of what happened. But every once in a while, and I think movies tend to do this almost all the time, is that they fictionalize these events. And from what I've heard from the author of the book Into Thin Air, and I can't remember his name right now, he said that there were many inaccuracies with the movie in terms of how it was depicted. But I feel like with those inaccuracies, you could have used that to try and elevate more of the intensity. However, there are very intense moments in this movie. And there's a character that I'm not going to mention his name. There's a character who dies by falling. And when that scene happened, it was one of the most intense and scariest scenes I've ever seen in the movie theater. I was like, I literally jumped in my seat. I was so frightened at that moment because it happened so fast. That moment was probably like the most vividly remembered moment I have of that movie, and it made the experience just so much better. You know, this is, in a way, the first movie that I saw throughout the third quarter of this year where I thought that the characters were actually, some of them were fleshed out really nicely. I didn't really have that much problem with the characters as much as like other reviewers said. They say the characters were just not, they were too like one-dimensional. I thought some of the characters were really fleshed out. I really enjoyed Joosh Brolin's character, Beck. I really did. I thought he was cool. It sounded like he was estranged from his wife and children. And you get to that point, and when he gets stuck up there and he's got problems, the wife is notified and she's like, okay, what can we do in this instance? This film also stars Jake Gyllenhaal in a very... I really can't describe this character for you in a really interesting way. The only way I can tell you is that he's like a drunken moron. Like he's always drinking and he's always like saying these weird things, and he's got this really large beard. His performance, I think, may have been the best in the entire movie. I don't think I've ever seen a performance of Jake Gyllenhaal when he's like drunk or something. I've never seen a performance like this before. Jake Gyllenhaal really added like more of a character vibe to all of the other characters that weren't exactly fleshed out. I didn't see any other trailers. I avoided trailers because I didn't want to get spoiled with all the things that happen in the movie. There is one scene that, even with the poster, they kind of spoil you the scene. That's when he's like hanging from the ladder. Yeah, that kind of was spoiled for me, but it was still intense. But fair warning to all of you, this movie is very disturbing and very depressing. If you are in the faint of heart category, I advise that you stay away, because this movie really, when it really gets down to its gritty, intense moments, it is some of the most intense filming I've ever seen. And it's one of the best experiences I've ever seen. This movie, when it really was about the Everest portion of it, it's fantastic. The other section of the movie I thought was good. I did. I liked the character interactions, but I felt like they were a little bit too stretched out. I felt like I would have wanted to have seen more of the training that they had to do, because Jason Clarke's character says they had to physically train their bodies for 40 days before they would really go on their true expedition of Mount Everest. And they kind of cut certain scenes out when I'm like, wait, shouldn't you show that? I wish they kind of showed more of that instead of more of just the characters like partying or drinking or just talking. I would have liked to have seen more of them truly climbing it. That would have made a better movie. However, I still really enjoyed this movie. This movie, guys, was awesome when it gets to the Everest scenes. Excellent special effects and the camera work. My goodness gracious. There is no shaky cam to be found in this movie whatsoever. None. Everything is shot beautifully. It really looks real. It is gorgeous. The way it's shot, the cinematography is perfect. I think the most surprising performance in this movie, in my opinion, is Sam Worthington's portrayal of Guy Carter, who is, in a way, friends with Rob Hall. I have seen plenty of movies with Sam Worthington. I've seen Terminator Salvation, Avatar, Clash of the Titans, Wrath of the Titans, etc., etc. I can agree with the majority of people that say, why is he acting? I mean, his presence is fine, but him acting, not really. This is definitely his best acted movie I've seen him in. His performance is great. And I didn't know he was Australian until this movie. I'm like, wait, he's Australian? And I looked it up and he's Australian. It's pretty awesome. And also Jason Clarke's character, Rob Hall, he's also Australian. While Everest, to me, isn't a perfect movie, it definitely does what a blockbuster climbing expedition movie could do. And for what it is, this movie really provides. Guys, I highly recommend you see Everest. This is a very, very good movie with, I think, some solid performances. Some of them are kind of okay, a little bit wooden, but I feel like Jason Clarke's character, Jake Gyllenhaal's character, Scott Fisher, and Sam Worthington, they really pull it off. I think they did a good job, and also Emily Watson's in this movie, and Keira Knightly. Those two are great actresses, and their performances are pretty good as well. So in the end, guys, I'm going to give Everest an A-. Well, thank you guys for watching another one of my movie reviews. I appreciate it as always. I'm just happy with all the support that you guys are giving me. You guys are the best. You guys are the best people ever. And I hope that you guys always click that like button and send me some comments about what movies you want me to review next. And I will definitely deliver. As of now, guys, I am going to be continuing in my Ridley Scott series by giving you guys a review for Blade Runner. And then I'm going to be giving you guys a review for Black Rain. And then I'm going to be reviewing another one of his select few films for his upcoming one, The Martian, starring Matt Damon, which I am incredibly pumped for. Thanks, guys, and stay tuned.